Stop. Don't scroll. Don't move. Just notice right now, this moment. This exact second you're in. You feel it, don't you? The present. Now. The one thing in your entire life that feels absolutely unquestionably real. Not a memory. Not a prediction. Not a dream. Right now. This. The weight of the chair beneath you. The light hitting your eyes. The sound of this voice landing in your ears. You were taught by every clock, every calendar, every birthday candle you've ever blown out. That time is a river. The past flows behind you. The future rushes ahead. And you're riding the surface. You're in the now. The one true, real, shared sliver of existence. The knife edge between what was and what will be. Wrong. That feeling, that iron certainty that this moment is real, and universal, and shared by every conscious thing in the universe, is the single most sophisticated lie your brain has ever told you. And here's the part nobody tells you. Physicists have known this for over 100 years. This isn't philosophy debated in smoky rooms. This isn't a spiritual metaphor. It is cold, hard, tested physics, embedded into the satellites orbiting above your head right now, baked into the GPS system guiding you home tonight, confirmed by atomic clocks, particle accelerators, and the oldest light in the universe. There is no universal now. The present moment you're so absolutely certain of. It doesn't exist the same way for anyone else in the universe. Not for someone on the other side of the planet. Not for an astronaut in orbit. Not for someone simply walking towards you on the street. And if you follow that thread, all the way to its logical end, it leads somewhere that will permanently alter how you see every single moment of your life. The word now is the most dangerous word in physics. I'm going to prove it doesn't exist. The clock on your wall isn't measuring time. It's measuring your personal hallucination of it. Let me show you the mental image you're carrying around. The one that feels so natural you've never once questioned it. You picture time as a line. A long, straight, horizontal line stretching from left to right. On the far left, the past. Ancient history, dinosaurs, the Big Bang. On the far right, the future. Stars dying, the heat death of the universe. And right in the middle, a tiny glowing dot. You. Right now. The present. It's clean. It's intuitive. It's the map. Every teacher, every textbook, every documentary has handed you since you were old enough to ask when. And it is catastrophically wrong. Here's the first crack. Ask yourself this: how wide is that dot? How thick is the present moment on your mental timeline? A second, a millisecond, a billionth of a second? Every time you try to pin it down, it slips away. The present is mathematically a point of zero duration. No width, no thickness. The instant you try to grab it, it's already the past. But that's not even the worst part. Stop. The worst part isn't that now is infinitely thin. The worst part is that physicists discovered something that makes the timeline map even more broken than that. Because that map, that beautiful, clean, horizontal line, assumes something enormous. Something so obvious you've never noticed you assumed it. It assumes the line is the same for everyone. It assumes that when you point to your glowing dot and say now, every other conscious being in the universe is pointing to the exact same dot, same moment. Same slice, same now. And that assumption, the one baked so deep into your intuition that it feels like breathing, is what Einstein took a sledgehammer to in 1905. He didn't just say the timeline was wrong. He said there is no timeline. There is no single line that the whole universe shares. Every observer, every person, every particle, every galaxy carries their own timeline, their own personal slice of now. And those slices, they don't line up. They cut through the universe at different angles. You think you and the person standing next to you share the same present moment. You don't, not exactly. And the faster you move relative to each other, the further apart your nows diverge, until at the speed of light, the concept of now doesn't just get blurry, it evaporates. Here's the trap. The universe doesn't have a present tense. Only you do. Before we break everything, let's rebuild from the ground up. Because to understand why now is an illusion, you first need to understand what time actually is. Not the textbook definition, not the clock on the wall definition, but the real physical structural definition. Here's the reframe. Time is not a river. Time is not a line. Time is not something the universe has. Time is something the universe does, and it only does it locally. It does it differently depending on where you are, how fast you're moving, and how strong the gravitational field is around you. Think of it like this. Imagine the universe is a vast sheet of fabric, what physicists call spacetime. This fabric isn't just space. It's space and time woven together into a single structure. Every event that has ever happened or will ever happen is a point in this fabric: your birth, the death of a star. The moment you started watching this video, all of it, points in the same four-dimensional fabric. Now here's the crucial part. When you move through this fabric, you don't just move through space, you move through time as well. And here's the thing nobody explains properly. You are always moving through this fabric. Right now, sitting still in your chair, you are moving through the time dimension of space-time at the maximum possible rate. You are rocketing into the future at 1 second per second, as fast as anything with mass can travel through time. But, and this is the razor's edge, the moment you start moving through space, something has to give. You start trading your movement through time for movement through space. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. This isn't a metaphor, this is the geometry of the universe. So when two people are moving at different speeds, they are literally carving through the space-time fabric at different angles. Their timelines, their personal nows, are tilted relative to each other. Now imagine those two people trying to agree on what now means, trying to point to the same slice of the universe and say, this is the present. They can't. Because their slices are tilted, they cut through the fabric at different angles. What one person calls right now, the other person might call 5 minutes ago, or 5 minutes from now. And here's the part that makes this terrifying rather than merely interesting. This isn't about imprecise measurements or technological limitations. This isn't a problem we could solve with better clocks or faster computers. It is structurally impossible for two observers moving at different velocities to share the same present moment. The present moment, your now, is not a universal feature of the universe. It is a personal one. It is yours, only yours, and it is as unique to you as your fingerprint. Stop. Let that land. Every moment you've ever called now, every birthday, every goodbye, every instant of joy or grief or wonder was a local event, a private slice, a personal geometry. The universe never shared it with you. Two events, same moment, same universe, completely different nows. Welcome to the crack in reality. Now imagine this, and I mean really imagine it. Close your eyes after I set the scene. You are standing at a train station. It's night. The platform is empty except for you, standing exactly in the middle, halfway between the two ends of the platform. At both ends, there are two enormous floodlights, and at the exact moment, the same moment, both floodlights explode with light simultaneously, left end, right end, same instant. The light from both flashes travels towards you. And because you are standing exactly in the middle, equidistant from both ends, both flashes reach your eyes at the same time. You see them simultaneously. You record, these two events happened at the same moment. They were simultaneous. Simple enough, right? Now imagine your friend. She's not standing on the platform. She's on a train moving through the station at half the speed of light, moving from the left end toward the right end of the platform. She passes the center of the platform at the exact same moment you're standing there. Here's the question. Does she see the two flashes simultaneously? Stop. Think about it carefully before I tell you the answer. She doesn't. She sees the flash from the right end first because she's moving toward it, so its light reaches her sooner. And she sees the flash from the left end after because she's moving away from it, so its light has to chase her down. Now, and this is where the grenade goes off. You might say that's just because she's moving. Obviously, the light reaches her at different times, but the flashes still happen simultaneously. She just received them at different times. Wrong. That's the trap. That's the intuition that Einstein detonated. From your friend's frame, from her perspective, moving at half the speed of light, the two flashes did not happen simultaneously. From her frame, the right flash happened first. Then the left flash happened after. These are not the same events happening at the same time but appearing different. They are genuinely, physically, structurally happening at different times in our frame of reference. You say, simultaneous. She says, not simultaneous. And neither of you is wrong. You are both right, in your own frames, in your own personal geometries of space-time. Here's the part nobody tells you. This isn't about light travel time. This isn't about perception lag or signal delay. Einstein proved that simultaneity, the idea that two events happen at the same time, is not an objective feature of the universe. It is relative. It depends on the observer. And this means the present moment, now, which is just the collection of all events happening simultaneously, is also relative. Your now is not the same as her now, and neither of your nows is the universe's now, because the universe doesn't have one. Now let's scale this up. Forget the train station. Forget half the speed of light. Let's talk about something closer to home. Something happening right now. Tonight, as you watch this video, you are moving. Right now. You don't feel it, but you are on a planet orbiting a star, inside a galaxy rotating at hundreds of kilometers per second, inside a universe where everything is moving relative to everything is moving relative to everything else. Your personal slice of the space-time fabric is tilted at a unique angle that no other observer in the universe shares exactly. Somewhere out there, in a galaxy 2 million light-years away, there is an alien civilization. And their now, the collection of events that are simultaneous for them, includes events in our galaxy that are years apart from our perspective. Their present moment reaches forward and backward through our time. The razor's edge isn't just thin, it doesn't have a single location. Engineers had to build time dilation into your phone's GPS. They had to account for the fact that now is different up there. And if they didn't, you'd drive into the ocean. I know what part of your brain is doing right now. It's searching for the escape hatch. It's saying, okay, this is interesting physics theory, but it's all about extreme speeds and distant galaxies. In real life, in my actual daily experience, now is now. My present moment is real enough. This doesn't affect me. Let me close that escape hatch permanently. Pull out your phone. Open Google Maps. Let it find your location. That little blue dot on the screen, the one that tells you exactly where you are to within a few meters, is only accurate because a team of engineers explicitly accounted for the fact that now is different for the satellites above your head than it is for you on the ground. Here's how it works. The GPS system relies on a constellation of satellites orbiting Earth at roughly 20,000 kilometers altitude, moving at about 14,000 kilometers per hour. Those satellites are doing two things simultaneously. Two things that both distort time in opposite directions. First, they're moving fast relative to you. Special relativity, the physics of simultaneity we just explored, says moving clocks run slow. Because of their speed alone, the satellite clocks lose about 7 microseconds per day relative to your phone's clock. Second, they're far from Earth's gravitational field. General relativity, Einstein's theory of gravity as curved spacetime, says clocks in weaker gravitational fields run faster. Being farther from Earth's mass, the satellite clocks gain about 45 microseconds per day. Net effect? The satellite clocks gain roughly 38 microseconds per day relative to your phone. 38 microseconds. That sounds laughably tiny, doesn't it? Stop. GPS works by measuring how long light takes to travel from the satellite to your phone. Light travels at 300,000 kilometers per second. In 38 microseconds, light travels about 11 kilometers. If engineers did not correct for this time difference, if they assumed now was the same for the satellite in your phone, your GPS position would drift by approximately 11 kilometers every single day. Within a week, your maps would be useless. Within a month, your location would be off by the width of a country. Every time you navigate home, every time a delivery drone finds your address, every time an airplane lands safely on a runway, you are depending on the fact that engineers took Einstein's relativity seriously, that they accepted as a hard engineering constraint that now is different at different speeds and different gravitational fields. The illusion of a universal present moment isn't just a philosophical curiosity. It is a measured, quantified, corrected engineering problem that affects your daily life. The present moment doesn't just feel different for observers in different frames. It is different mathematically, physically, verifiably. And if you needed one piece of evidence that now is not what you think it is, the fact that your phone's GPS only works because engineers corrected for it is all the proof you will ever need. A man walks towards you on the street. On Andromeda, 2 weeks of alien history vanish into his footstep. This isn't a metaphor. This is the geometry of time. Now we go deeper. Now we introduce what physicist Roger Penrose called one of the most disturbing implications of relativity. An implication so clean, so simple, so impossible to dismiss that physicists still argue about what it means for the nature of reality. It's called the Andromeda paradox. And you can trigger it with a footstep. Here's the setup. You are standing on a sidewalk. 2 people walk past you, one walking toward you, one walking away from you. Normal pedestrians, normal speeds, maybe 5 kilometers per hour. Both of them have a now, a personal present moment, a personal slice through the space-time fabric. And because they're moving at different velocities relative to you, one toward, one away, their slices through space-time are tilted at slightly different angles. Now here's the part that detonates your brain. The Andromeda galaxy is approximately 2.5 million light-years away. That is a vast distance. So vast that a tiny tilt in your now slice, projected all the way out to Andromeda, translates into an enormous shift in which events on Andromeda are included in your present moment. Let's calculate. Walking at 5 kilometers per hour, the tilt in your space-time slice is small, almost nothing. But projected 2.5 million light-years to Andromeda, that tiny tilt shifts your now on Andromeda by approximately 2 weeks. Stop. Let me be very precise about what this means, because this is the kind of claim that sounds like poetic exaggeration, but is actually sober geometry. The person walking toward you and the person walking away from you, right now on your sidewalk, have present moments on Andromeda that are separated by roughly 2 weeks of Andromedan time. Whatever is happening on Andromeda right now, whatever events, whatever history, whatever moments, the walker coming towards you has a now on Andromeda that is 2 weeks ahead of the walker moving away from you. 2 weeks of alien history, contained in a footstep. Now imagine you're not on a sidewalk, but on a spaceship, and instead of walking speed, you're moving at a significant fraction of the speed of light. The tilt in your now slice becomes dramatic. Events that are firmly in your past are in someone else's future. Events that haven't happened for you yet are ancient history for another observer. This is called the relativity of simultaneity, and it is not a rounding error or a philosophical quibble. It is the geometric structure of the universe. But wait, here's where the twin of simultaneity enters. Time dilation's evil partner. We talked earlier about how moving through space trades off with moving through time. The faster you move, the slower your clock ticks. But there is another side to this coin. Another consequence of moving through the space-time fabric at a different angle. It's called length contraction, and it's the universe's way of making sure everyone's physics stays consistent. If your now slice is tilted, if your time axis is angled relative to mine, then your space axis is also angled. And that means distances shrink. The faster you move, the more space compresses in your direction of motion. Think of it like this. Imagine you're holding a ruler tilted at an angle, looking at it straight on. It appears shorter than it actually is, because you're seeing its projection rather than its full length. Speed does something analogous to space itself. The faster you move, the more space-time rotates your personal axes, and the more space contracts. At the speed of light, as we explored in thinking about photons, space contracts to zero. Distance disappears. The universe collapses to a point. The razor's edge doesn't just have no width in time, it has no width in space either. Now ask yourself the really uncomfortable question. If 2 observers can disagree about when something happens, if your now includes events that are in my future or my past, then what does it mean for something to exist right now? What does it mean for the present to be real if we can't even agree on what's in it? If there is no universal now, then the past isn't gone, the future isn't coming. They're all here, frozen, and you are just moving through them. This is where everything we've built, the tilted slices, the GPS clocks, the walking man on the sidewalk, the Andromeda paradox, converges into a single world-altering conclusion. If there is no universal now, if every observer has their own personal slice through space-time, and those slices are all tilted at different angles, then the only way the universe can be consistent is if all of time already exists. Not was, not will be, exists, present tense, all of it, simultaneously. Welcome to what physicists call the block universe, and what Einstein called the only view of reality consistent with his equations. Here's the picture. Stop thinking of the universe as a story that is happening. Stop thinking of it as a movie playing from beginning to end. Instead, think of it as a four-dimensional object, like a crystal, or a sculpture, or a loaf of bread that already exists in its entirety. Every event that has ever happened, the formation of the first stars, the extinction of the dinosaurs, your 5th birthday, this exact moment, every moment that will ever come, all of it is already there, frozen into the structure of the four-dimensional block. The past is not gone. It is still there, behind you in the block, as real and as solid as the chair you're sitting in right now. The future is not unwritten. It is already there, ahead of you in the block, as fixed and as certain as the past. You are not experiencing time. You are moving through the block. You are a line, a world line in physics language, traced through the four-dimensional structure. Your consciousness is the point moving along that line, illuminating each slice as it passes, creating the feeling of a present moment. But the movie was already filmed before you started watching. Stop. Now, I know exactly what your brain is screaming right now. It's screaming, but I make choices. I have free will. The future can't be written because I haven't decided it yet. And this is where I want to be honest with you, because this is the edge where physics and philosophy blur, and intellectual honesty matters more than a clean narrative. The block universe is the most mathematically natural reading of Einstein's relativity. It's what the equations suggest. But physicists are not unanimous on whether it means the future is literally determined. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics inject genuine randomness into the structure, pockets of undetermined possibility that resist the block's rigid geometry. What we can say, what the physics forces us to accept, is this: the present moment is not a special, privileged location in the universe. It does not have a universal address. It cannot be broadcast to all observers simultaneously. The razor's edge, that infinitely thin line between past and future that you've always called now, is not a feature of the universe. It is a feature of you. And here is the cosmic implication that makes this truly terrifying in scale. When you look up at the night sky, you are not seeing the universe now. The light from the nearest star, Proxima Centauri, left 4 years ago. The light from the center of our galaxy left 26,000 years ago. The light from the Andromeda galaxy left 2.5 million years ago. The light from the most distant galaxies visible to our telescopes left 13 billion years ago. You are not seeing the universe. You are seeing a fossil record, a layered archaeological site of different things masquerading as a single now. And yet, for each of those photons, for the light itself, the journey took 0 time. The star that fired it and the eye that received it are the same event in the block. Connected, simultaneous, touching. The universe isn't vast and ancient. That's just how it looks from inside the block, moving in slow motion. From outside, from the geometry of light itself, the universe is a single point, a single flash. Past, present, and future collapsed into one dimensionless instant. The razor's edge isn't just an illusion. It is the only illusion the universe ever bothered to create. Your brain manufactures the present moment. It stitches together half a second of data and calls it now. You are always living in your own edited past. Here's the part nobody tells you. Even if physics gave you a universal now, even if Einstein had been wrong and the universe did share a single present moment, you still wouldn't be living in it, because your brain doesn't work in real time. Stop. Think about what happens when light hits your eye. The photons strike your retina. Electrical signals fire along your optic nerve. They travel to your visual cortex. They get processed, interpreted, cross-referenced with memory, compared to expectations, stitched together with sounds and sensations arriving from your other senses at slightly different times. And then, only then, does your brain assemble the final product and hand it to your consciousness. That entire process takes roughly half a second. Half a second. The moment you are experiencing right now, the one that feels so immediate, so vivid, so present, is already half a second old by the time you're aware of it. You are never in the present. You are always in a very recent, very convincing reconstruction of the past. And it gets stranger, because your brain doesn't just delay, it edits, it fills in gaps, it smooths over discontinuities. It creates the seamless experience of a flowing present moment out of a stream of fragmented, asynchronous, time-stamped signals. The neuroscientist Benjamin Libet demonstrated something remarkable. The brain registers stimuli and backdates the experience. It literally falsifies the timestamp to make things feel simultaneous that weren't. Your brain is running a continuous post-production operation, stitching together your experience of now from data that arrived at different times, and presenting it to you as a live broadcast. It's not a live broadcast. It's a carefully edited highlight reel, always half a second behind, always slightly revised, always manufactured. So here is where physics and neuroscience converge into the same devastating conclusion. Physics says there is no universal now. Different observers have different present moments, and none of them is more correct than any other. Neuroscience says even your personal now is a construction, a fiction assembled by your brain to give you the feeling of living in real time when you're actually living in a continuous, imperceptible past. The razor's edge, the present moment, is being attacked from both directions simultaneously. From the outside, physics dissolves it into relative geometry. From the inside, neuroscience dissolves it into neural editing. Now is not a place in the universe. Now is not even a real feature of your experience. Now is a story, the most convincing story ever told. Told to you by you, every single moment of every single day. And the most unsettling thing about a story this good, you can't stop believing it even when you know it isn't true. You aren't trapped in the present. The present is trapped in you. So here we are. We started with the most certain thing you've ever felt, the present moment, and we systematically dissolved it from every angle. Physics, geometry, neuroscience, the GPS in your pocket, the light from distant stars, the footstep of a stranger on a sidewalk. And I want to give you something to take away from this. Not just the vertigo, not just the intellectual whiplash, something you can actually use. Here's the metaphor I want you to carry. You have been living inside a prison. But here's the thing about this prison. It has no walls. It never did. The walls were drawn by your brain, constructed from the architecture of your nervous system and the geometry of your mass. The present moment is not a cage the universe put you in. It is a cage you are. You are not trapped in the now. The now is trapped in you. And once you see that, once you really feel that, something shifts. Because if the present moment is a construction, then it is also, in a strange and profound way, a miracle. Think about what has to happen for you to experience now. The universe, fundamentally timeless at the level of light, fundamentally geometric at the level of space-time, somehow produces structures complex enough to move slowly enough through the fabric to generate the illusion of time. Structures with memory, which creates the past. Structures with anticipation, which creates the future. Structures with awareness, which creates the present. You are the universe's mechanism for experiencing its own block structure sequentially. You are the universe reading itself, line by line, moment by moment, like a reader moving through a book that already exists in its entirety on the shelf. The book was written before you opened it. Every page you haven't read is already there, but without you, without a consciousness moving through it. It is just paper and ink. It is just geometry. It has no story. It has no now. You are the now of the universe, not trapped in it, not fooled by it, but constituting it. The razor's edge between past and future is real, not as a feature of the universe, but as a feature of you, as the moving point of awareness tracing your world line through the block. The present moment is not an illusion in the sense of being unreal. It is an illusion in the sense of being local, personal, yours. Stop, look at your hand, right now. The light hitting it left its source some tiny fraction of a second ago. Your brain will process this image half a second from now and call it immediate. Somewhere on Andromeda, your now includes events 2 weeks away from anyone else's, now depending on which direction they walked past you this morning. And yet, your hand is there. The light is real. The moment is happening. It's just happening only for you, in a way that no other observer in the universe shares exactly, in a private geometry of spacetime that belongs to no one else. That's not a reason to despair. That is the most intimate fact about existence that physics has ever uncovered. The present moment is not a universal truth. It is a personal one, and that means every now you've ever lived, every moment of joy, grief, love, wonder, was not a generic slice of some universal timeline that anyone could have experienced. It was irreducibly yours, unrepeatable, untransferable, geometrically unique in all of space-time. The universe gave you your now and no one else's, and the light, the timeless, spaceless, eternal light connecting everything in the block, has always been there, is always there, touching the beginning and the end of everything simultaneously. We are the ones who stretch the flash into a story, and what a story it is. So the next time someone asks you what time it is, you can tell them, but you'll know something they don't. You'll know that the time on your watch is yours, that it measures your personal path through the space-time block, that somewhere above your head, satellites are compensating for the fact that their now runs faster than yours, that somewhere 2.5 million light-years away, your present moment includes events no one standing next to you would agree are simultaneous. You'll know that the word now, the most natural, automatic, unquestioned word in human language, describes something the universe itself has never possessed. You'll know that the present moment is not a location, it is a perspective. And perspectives, unlike locations, can shift. Stop. But here's the question this leaves open, the one that keeps physicists awake far more than the illusion of now. If the present is personal, if your now is a construction of your movement through the block, then what is moving? What is the thing that experiences the sequence? What is the consciousness tracing the world line through the frozen geometry? In other words, if time is an illusion, what exactly is doing the experiencing? That question has a name in physics and philosophy. It is called the hard problem of consciousness. And the answer, if there is one, reaches into quantum mechanics, into the nature of information, into whether the universe is fundamentally physical or fundamentally experiential. That is a story for another time. But if you want to understand what you actually are, in a universe where now is an illusion, space is relative, and time is a personal geometry, then you are going to want to be here for it. If you want to understand the next bar of the cage, click subscribe. The next video is already waiting for you. In the block, it always was.